When Beth landed at a small airport in Croatia, she had no idea this trip was going to change her life forever. She was just there for a vacation. During her journey, Beth meets a taxi driver named Zane, who's originally from Syria. He now works here as a cab driver. After dropping her off at the motel, he hands her his card, just in case she ever needs a ride again. This is her best friend, Kate. She's the one who arranged this entire trip. From flying Beth in to covering all the upcoming expenses, it's all on her. Beth was really grateful and had brought a small gift for Kate as a thank you. It wasn't expensive, but Kate liked it anyway. Kate jokes, saying, "The one who truly deserves this gift is my husband, Jay, since we're going to enjoy this whole trip on his credit card." This is Beth's husband, Rob. They had a 1-year-old daughter, and though Beth had left her with Rob to come on this trip, she was really missing her. Tonight, Kate had booked a table at a restaurant. As soon as Beth got ready, the two of them headed out to have a good time. This is Sebastian, the owner of the motel. While leaving, Kate quickly introduced Beth to him. At the restaurant, Kate ordered the most expensive champagne on the menu. Sure, she was about to get divorced from Jay, but as long as he didn't find out, she was happy spending on his credit card. Beth and Rob's relationship was kind of in the same place too. Things weren't going well between them. Beth was pretty sure they'd end up getting divorced too. Basically, both their lives were kind of messed up. They ate, drank, and had fun. But when the check came, they realized the card had been declined. Beth was shocked by the bill. Kate was too. She got all mad at Jay, but they still had to pay somehow. Beth offered to split it, but Kate refused, saying, "You can just cover the next place." They booked Zane's cab and went to a popular disco bar. They were just about to order drinks when Kate spotted 2 hot guys. Without a second thought, she went and sat with them. Beth, on the other hand, felt really uncomfortable. She was married. Flirting with random guys didn't feel right to her. Kate kept pushing her though, saying stuff like, "You don't get chances like this every day. Just one night of fun, you'll forget all your problems. Rob's not gonna know anything." Finally, Beth gave in and drank what the guys offered her. And then she blacked out. The next thing she knew, it was noon, and she woke up on the motel bed. She was still drunk. After all the drinking last night, she had no memory of what happened. On top of that, Kate was nowhere to be seen in the house. Just then, she noticed a broken glass on the floor and blood. Freaked out, she quickly tried calling Kate, but her phone was off. Then she called Rob and told him that they went to a party last night, and now in the morning, Kate was missing. Her phone wasn't reachable either. Rob said there's nothing to worry about. Maybe she went out and will be back soon. And he wasn't exactly wrong, because Beth didn't tell him everything. She immediately went to see Sebastian, hoping Kate might have told him something. But even he had no message from Kate. In fact, Sebastian was pissed at them for breaking the rules and bringing 2 guys over last night. He even said he'd charge them extra for that. Beth was stunned. She started fearing something bad might have happened to Kate. So without wasting time, she went straight to the local police station to file a missing person report. She gave them every detail, from meeting those guys to them coming home, to the blood on the floor, but she didn't know their names, or even the name of the bar. She was completely wasted. As far as the cops were concerned, it might have just been a small accident. Kate could be in some hospital or something. They said they'd check nearby hospitals first. Also, they couldn't officially file a missing person report before 24 hours. Most people come back before that anyway, so Beth had no choice but to wait, but waiting was killing her. She quickly called Zane and told him everything. Since Zane was a cab driver, she figured he might know the bar, and she was right. Zane had dropped them at the Blue Parlor last night. They rushed to the Blue Parlor, hoping to find some info about those 2 guys. When asking nicely didn't help, Zane lost it and started yelling at the bartender. That's when the bartender finally told them the truth. Those 2 guys were often seen at the bar with new tourist girls. Maybe those girls had actually hired them. When Beth found out, she was totally shocked. No wonder Kate kept pushing her to flirt with them. Turns out her best friend was the one who totally messed things up for her. Or maybe there was more to the story, so Beth went ahead and asked for their names. They said they were Matteo and Luca, though honestly, there was no solid proof those were even their real names. Time flew by, and it was already 8 p.m., but still, there was no sign of Kate. Beth had a flight to catch the next day, but she didn't want to leave without knowing what happened to Kate. If she didn't go back, Rob would have a problem. He had to be at work Monday, and someone needed to take care of their daughter. Rob wasn't exactly thrilled, but Beth wouldn't take no for an answer. In the end, he agreed to extend his time off. Finding out what happened to Kate was more important right now. The next morning, when Beth woke up, she had a great idea. She searched for Blue Parlor escorts on Instagram, and boom, those 2 guys popped right up in the search results. They had even listed their phone numbers and everything. To actually hire them, Beth took Zane's help. The plan was all set. The guys were supposed to meet them at that same place. Zane, however, couldn't quite figure out how Beth and Kate even became friends. They were from totally different countries. Well, here's the thing. Beth had gone abroad a few years ago for college. Kate was her roommate back then. She was also the one who introduced her to Rob. Eventually, Beth and Rob got married and now they even had a daughter. So yeah, Kate had played a pretty big role in their lives. While they were talking, those two guys showed up. The plan was to calmly ask them about Kate, but the moment they saw Beth, they freaked out and ran off in opposite directions. Zane chased after one of them. After a long run, they finally caught him. Under pressure, the guy confessed. They were just using that formula to scam tourist girls. They had no clue what happened to Kate because around 3 a.m. that night, they stole her bag and bailed. They found Kate's phone and purse at the same shop where they'd sold the stuff. That was enough evidence to file a police complaint, but Zane didn't want his name involved at all. If for some reason his visa got canceled, it could be a big problem for him. Beth kept assuring him that she wouldn't mention his name to the cops. Then she gave the police a full account of what happened that night. Maybe those guys had slipped something into their drinks. That's why she blacked out and couldn't remember what exactly happened after that. Were those two guys escorts? Did they hire you? The officer asked. Beth said, absolutely not. It's possible Kate hired them, but I didn't know anything about that. If those guys had actually done something wrong, they could be charged with rape and more. But for Beth, the most important thing was Kate. She was sure that something bad had happened to her. That's when the police started getting a little suspicious. How come those two thieves were caught so easily by Beth? And they even gave back the bag, which was a real Dior worth 10,000 euros. Why would a thief return something like that? Beth said she had to take a few risks. One guy on the street caught one of them, and then after putting pressure on him, he confessed everything. Anyway, after the report was filed, Beth had to go through a medical exam. There was no sign of any assault, but the toxicology report would take 2 more days. What if she went to Jay? Beth called him right away. But no, Jay said they couldn't even talk without a court's permission, let alone meet. What do you mean? She called you just last Friday about a credit card. Credit card? She's not at all who you think she is. Why would I even give her my credit card? Going missing is nothing new for Kate. Once, over something small, she just ran off to New York without telling anyone. We had no idea where she was for 7 days. So you should stop worrying and just go home, Jay said before hanging up. Beth came back to the motel all stressed and confused, only to find out that checkout time was 11 a.m. Sebastian had already started prepping the room for new guests, but Beth still needed to stay. She told him her friend had gone missing the night before, and until she was found, she needed a place to stay. Luckily, Sebastian had a room available downstairs and gave it to her at a discount. She was exhausted from running around all day. She plugged Kate's phone into charge and just passed out. But the big question, why didn't she tell the cops about Kate's phone? I mean, come on. Beth was clearly hiding stuff from the police too. When she woke up, it was already evening. She tried turning on Kate's phone, but couldn't get past the password. She was starving, so she called Zane to go grab dinner. That's when she found out Rob had already shown up, after leaving his daughter with a babysitter. Turns out, he was seriously worried about Beth. Now, about what happened, Kate had apparently called 2 escorts over to her place. Beth didn't know they were escorts. They were still arguing over that when they got a call. They had to go ID a body, fast. Turns out, it was Kate. Her body was found floating in the water. Now, whether she drowned or someone killed her and dumped her, no one could say for sure. Only the autopsy would clear that up. Beth was a mess, crying her heart out. She just wanted to wrap everything up and go back home. So Rob didn't push her too much and went home alone. Later, Beth met up with Detective Pavic again. She wanted to say a final goodbye to Kate, but it wasn't just that. She asked to be alone with Kate for a minute. Anne used her face to unlock the phone. And yeah, her worst fears came true. She opened WhatsApp and bam, the chats were full of messages between her husband Rob and Kate. They were cheating on Beth. Kate was planning to divorce Jay and marry Rob. And Rob? He was already looking for ways to get rid of Beth. Jay, Kate's husband, knew about the affair, but never told Beth. Probably because she was pregnant back then. That hit her hard. This whole thing was getting messier by the minute. 2 days later, the toxicology report came in. According to the report, Kate's body had a high amount of cocaine and ketamine, but Beth had straight up lied to the cops. If she hadn't lied, they would have thought she was a junkie and wouldn't have taken her seriously, so she kept it to herself. But what about the fight she had with Kate? Those 2 escorts gave statements. There were other people too who saw them arguing. And then Kate ends up dead that same night. That can't just be a coincidence. As for those 2 guys, they left around 3 a.m. By then, Kate was still at the house. That was confirmed by the motel owner, Sebastian, and the taxi driver. They started thinking maybe Beth killed her, or at least she was hiding something. And she was. She was hiding Rob and Kate's affair. Until the case was solved, her passport was taken away. For now, Inspector after Pavic dropped her off at her motel, he gave the motel owner a few instructions. Beth was there, but she didn't understand their language. She had no idea what to do next. Once all the drama cooled down a bit, she finally confronted Rob. At first, he tried to dodge it, but once he found out Beth had seen all their chats, he came clean. But what's the use of admitting now? The next morning, Beth got arrested based on suspicion. Turns out the police had already found out she'd been in contact with Mr. Zachariah. Through that lead, they caught one of the thieves. Beth hiding that info only made things worse. So here's the deal. Zachariah is part of an Albanian gang involved in human trafficking. He's the one who killed Kate, and apparently Beth hired him to do it. That just blew Beth's mind. Why would she want Kate dead? She was her best friend. Turns out the cops already knew about Rob and Kate's affair. Kate was tearing her family apart. That's why Beth did what she did. Or at least that's what the cops think for now. But soon they'll know the whole truth. After some questioning, they let her go. When she got back home, Zane was already there in her room. He had come to meet Beth, but since she wasn't around, Sebastian let him stay. Actually, the cops had picked him up too, as a suspect in Kate's murder case. The night Kate was killed, Zane had been out driving the whole night. Everything was tracked on the app. There was no evidence against him, so they had to release him. As for the Albanian gang, well, once Zane had saved the gang leader's son's life. Back then, Syria was in a warlike situation. The gang leader helped Zane get out of there safely and even arranged a visa for him. So no, he doesn't work for them. It was hard to believe, but Beth chose to follow her heart. Next morning, she woke up with a question on her mind. How did the police even find out about Rob and Kate's affair? Could Pavic have told someone to bug her room? Beth started checking the room carefully and found a camera right above the mirror. That's how they were keeping an eye on her. She grabbed the first chance she got and stole Sebastian's office key. Turned out, he had turned his music office into a cinema hall. This guy had cameras in almost every room of the house. That's how Beth got the Friday night recording. That night, Kate was totally drunk, so the escorts and Kate helped put her to bed. Later, Kate spent some time with them. When she went to take a shower, they stole her purse and phone and ran off. In the struggle, Kate dropped a glass and cut her foot. Still, she ran after them, but couldn't catch up. By pure chance, a taxi was passing by, and Kate jumped in and followed them. Beth made sure to note down the taxi number. On the other screen, we see Sebastian. He had returned, but Kate didn't see him. Fast forward an hour into the recording, Kate came back in a black car. She looked super pissed at the driver. Before Beth could note down that car's number 2, Sebastian showed up. Somehow she managed to push him and get away, but he had already locked the door with multiple locks. The next moment, he started begging her not to expose him to the cops. He claimed the cameras were just for security purposes. At the same time, he was in a hurry deleting the footage that could have proved Beth's innocence. Beth tried to snatch the phone, and in the struggle, Sebastian ended up getting hit on the head. He passed out, but before that, he'd already deleted all the footage. Beth quickly grabbed the key from his pocket, unlocked the door, and by then, Zane was already outside. She ran off with him. On the way, she told him everything she had just witnessed. Using the taxi number, they found out the name and other details of the driver. After a phone call, the driver agreed to meet them. When Zane asked him, he said he'd picked up a girl from a certain motel on Friday night who said she needed to get to a police station, so that's where he dropped her. By now, the news that Beth was a suspect in Kate's murder was all over TV. Someone recognized her and called the cops. In no time, the police showed up. That's when Beth noticed the license plate of the second car too and took off running. The cops chased after her. Everything was finally starting to make sense to Beth. That night, Kate had gone to file a theft complaint and Detective Pavic had dropped her home. The security footage clearly showed that Kate was mad at Pavic. Maybe Pavic had a thing for Kate, and when she rejected him, he snapped and killed her. They needed to meet a lawyer right away, but the cops were already closing in. To help Beth escape, Zane let himself get caught. He also started telling them that Pavic was the one who killed Kate. They had seen the video footage. Meanwhile, Beth had made her way up to the terrace with Pavic right behind her, gun in hand. He threatened to shoot. She yelled, "It was you! You killed Kate!" Hearing that, Pavic lost it and tried to shut her up, but then he slipped and fell straight down. He died on the spot. After a few days of deep investigation, the police finally got hold of some footage from a nearby camera. It proved that after filing the theft report, Pavic had dropped Kate home. Maybe he tried to flirt with her, which is why she lashed out at him. That's when Pavic killed her and dumped her in the water. They also searched the home of those escorts, where they found drugs. Eventually, both of them confessed that they drugged the girls who hire them and then robbed them. That night, they tried the same trick on Beth and Kate. Beth passed out, but it didn't affect Kate much because she was already used to heavy drugs. So in short, Beth turned out to be completely innocent. Her passport was returned and she was released released. Before heading home, she went to meet Zane. He was the only one who, even as a stranger, stood by her through everything. From the start to the very end, he believed in her. She thanked Zane for everything, then left for home. Rob, feeling ashamed for what he'd done, said he wanted to forget the past and start over. He even apologized. But Beth wasn't ready to trust him so easily this time. She needed the car keys to go out, and Rob had kept them in his jacket. When she checked the jacket, her head started spinning. In Rob's pocket, she found a bead from the necklace Beth had gifted to Kate. That meant it wasn't Pavic, it was Rob who killed Kate. She told the police right away and confronted Rob too, saying, "You're the one who killed Kate. Catching a flight in 2 hours wasn't a big deal." And this was the proof. Finally, the real killer came to light. That night, Kate was arguing with him about the affair. She wanted Rob to divorce Beth and marry her, or else she'd tell Beth everything herself. In rage, he hit Kate, not realizing her head would hit a rock. It was an accident, something that happened in the heat of the moment. Ms. Kovac was still on the line. She had been listening to everything they said. She also informed the local police from her side, which meant the cops were about to reach the house any moment. Beth somehow managed to get away from Rob, took her baby, and left the house. Rob was arrested.